Coming up on Mountain News this morning, local law enforcement is uniting against hate and helping the public identify hate crimes. And vaping is popular with many young adults, but one city in the Commonwealth is fighting back against the crave.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 5:31 on August 31st. Now let's check in with Chief Forecaster Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast on this Thursday morning. And Brandon, we said it earlier, I mean, we have a great few days ahead of us. You said they really didn't need you.
Here's the thing, I could just pull up the 7A, you could literally read it. Because that's basically what it is. Now, it is going to get warm next week, I will say that. For
sure, definitely warm, but I mean, looking at today, it's going to be a great day.
Can't beat it. Cannot beat today. Let's take a look across the region. I-75 at Mount Vernon this morning, and not much traffic, not much fog, looking pretty decent down that way. It's on the chilly side, though. Temperatures across the region mainly in the 50s. Looks like Harlan is our winner this morning at 65, and Irvin are, well, they're not losers, but they're our lowest spot there at 54. So again, pretty big swing there across mountains, almost not 10-degree temperature swing. This afternoon, we see a few clouds early, then we'll see sunshine late, and temperatures top out right around 76 this afternoon. So a perfect fall day on the last day of August. Olivia?
I can't believe it. Thank you, Brandon. Governor Andy Beshear has directed flags at all state office buildings be lowered half staff from sunrise to sunset today for Overdose Awareness Day. The governor's mansion will also be lit purple, the designated color, to show support for overdose awareness. Governor Beshear will also commemorate the day with a proclamation singing. Yesterday, we learned the name of the man who was killed in an officer-involved shooting. The Bell County Deputy Coroner says it was 47-year-old Paul Holland of Pineville. Holland had been on the run after reportedly firing shots at a Bell County deputy on Friday when the deputy tried to serve a warrant on him. On Monday, a separate incident in the Bradfordtown community ended with Holland's death. He was reportedly shot by an officer. No law enforcement officials were hurt. We now know the name of the person who died in the crash on the Mountain Parkway in Wolfe County. Kennedy Lambert of Campton died in the crash. The crash occurred near mile marker 49. That section of the Mountain Parkway was closed for hours on Tuesday. State police in Pikeville are asking for your help in an ongoing missing person investigation. An initial investigation determined 17-year-old Tori Collins of Johns Creek was last seen in the Allegheny community of Pike County on Sunday. She is described as a white woman, 5 feet 9 inches tall and 120 pounds, with red hair and brown eyes. Anyone with information should call KSP Post 9 at 606-433-7711. One person is dead following a crash in Wise County, Virginia. It happened Tuesday on US 23, less than a mile south of Route 387. A Lincoln MKX was heading south on US 23 when the vehicle in front of it suddenly maneuvered out of the travel lane. The Lincoln also swerved but could not avoid the person walking in the travel lane. 43-year-old Stephanie J. Sala of Dryden, Virginia died at the scene. The driver of the Lincoln was not injured and was wearing a seatbelt. In Floyd County, the Sheriff's Department is asking for help finding a black Dodge Ram pickup. Take a look at your screen. The truck is suspected to be involved in a burglary investigation in the Camp Branch community of Martin last week. Anyone with information on the truck or the owner is asked to call Floyd County Dispatch at 606-886-6711. Yesterday, federal and local law enforcement met to unite against hate. They held a public event at the Lyric Theater in Lexington. The goal is to educate the public about ways to identify, report, and hopefully prevent acts of hate in the communities. Grayson Passamore has the details.
What is a hate crime? How do you report one? And then what happens after you do? These are questions the U.S. Attorney's Office is answering Wednesday night.
Is just to make sure that when people can feel safe in their communities and not be discriminated against or attacked or abused based on what they look like, what they believe.
The U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Kentucky, Carlton Shire, says they've seen a dramatic increase in hate crime incidents over the last 3 years, specifically those targeting people based on their race or based on their sexual orientation. And Shire says the number of unreported crimes is undoubtedly much higher.
The vast majority of the cases that we get involved in, the origination was a complaint from the public, not necessarily from the victim, but from witnesses and other things.
Those who prosecute these crimes say it's not just about getting justice for the victim. It's about anyone who identifies like the victim and fears that it could have been them or they could be next.
The experiences of underrepresented people in our community, what they actually experience. So I hope this encourages people to report.
Fayette County Attorney Angela Evans explains that hate crimes can be prosecuted federally, but here in Kentucky, there is not a statute for it on state level. But Evans says a judge will still take into account the nature of the crime and could use these factors in determining whether someone gets parole or not. And reporting it can bring an awareness to a crime people don't always see.
Words have meaning and words have power, and sometimes those words are a crime.
In Lexington, Grayson Passmore, WKYT.
A lieutenant with Lexington Police Department says 21 hate crimes have been reported in the city this year, a number they believe is extremely low because so many hate crimes do go unreported. While it is an issue seen throughout the Commonwealth, one city in particular is cracking down on vaping. City leaders in Corbin say it is seen in all age groups, even in primary school. The director of safety for Corbin Independent Schools, Tom Greer, says vaping is affecting their youth from the high school to the primary school, and their staff is always on the lookout.
We're having people to come in and talk, and not only the people outside the district coming in talking with our students, but also our staff, our administration, trying to educate our kids on the reason you don't vape, you don't smoke, you don't chew, you don't do those things.
Corbin police and faculty members of Corbin Independent School want to remind students and parents you must be 21 years old to purchase any vape products. Telling students about space science could be one way to open their imaginations, but for some Eastern Kentuckians, showing what they can do may increase the chance of turning a student's dreams into reality. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox tells us how some programs are built to show students what is possible outside of this world.
At the Challenger Learning Center, staff work to show students space is not that far out of reach.
So if we want to get to that point where we have the next generation of space scientists and explorers, then we need kids to see that at an early age.
A normal day here at the Challenger Center for Students may be here in the launch bay taking a trip to Mars.
A normal day at the office for us involves a trip to Mars with a group of students who might be establishing a new colony on the surface. Maybe we're tracking a new comet through space or going back to the moon.
Others are taking their space exploration back to Earth.
But what would your mom think if she came in and you were sleeping on the ceiling? Or here? Or here?
Axiom Space astronaut John Schaffner took part in launching an educational series called Habitat Space, with lessons for students about life in space.
We had this notion to film some episodes of what it's like to live in space on the space station in a way that kids can compare it to life on Earth, just everyday stuff.
A consistent message to students throughout the series is Schaffner saying,
just wait till you get up here and try it for yourself.
It revolves around changing the belief culture in the classroom that they do have a place and a role. Whatever they want, they bring that voice forward and start learning all they can about that.
Whether from space or on Earth, students are getting more access to what is possible. In Hazard, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Habitat Space is another resource from John Schaffner's Perseid Foundation, which operates to help underserved schools in Appalachia. As we inch closer to fall, we also get closer to the busiest time of festival season, and there's one in Breathitt County taking place this weekend. The 45th Honey Festival gets underway on Friday in Jackson. There will be vendors and live music as well as a truck rally. A parade will begin on Saturday at 12:30 p.m. Later that night, Breathitt County native Jeremy Short will perform at 9. For more information about the festival, you can go to their Facebook page. Coming up, Travis Scott announces a new tour almost 2 years after his last disastrous concert.
High pressure is here, and it looks to stick around with us for the next several days. I'll have your Labor Day weekend forecast in about 3 minutes.
Car wreck? When you get Hughes & Coleman, it can make a big difference. Here's what I mean. Insurance offer, $3,000. Our result, $156,000. Insurance offer, $0. Our result, $385,000. Insurance offer, $300,000. Our result, $1 million. After an accident, if you want to get the money you deserve, get Hughes & Coleman and get it done. Call 800-800-4600.
This is Dr. Van Breeding at Mount Comprehensive Health Corporation. During the pandemic, many of you were able to take advantage of Medicaid since public health emergency was issued, despite your income eligibility. That coverage has ended. To avoid total loss of coverage, you need to update your case with current information. Visit connect.ky.gov or visit a connector at your local MCHC clinic. This important message is just another way MCHC is providing better health for a longer life.
With Allegra, allergies don't hold us back. Allegra starts working 2 times faster than Claritin. And unlike Zyrtec, it won't make us drowsy, so you can live your greatness. And for kids, try Children's Allegra, the #1 allergist-recommended non-drowsy brand.
Hello, Bob Hutcherson here for Hutch Chevy in Paintsville. Our pre-owned sales have been great. So good that we're low on trucks. We really need your old truck, 2009 model or newer. Come make your best deal, and then we'll add $1,500 trade-in assistance. Your new Chevy Silverado or GMC Sierra is waiting for you now. Hutch Chevy in Paintsville, where you're guaranteed a great deal.
Daniel Cameron's attacks on Governor Beshear are wrong.
I spent 32 years in law enforcement. Beshear followed Trump's lead for early release of nonviolent offenders during COVID.
Andy Beshear is the best governor for law enforcement in my lifetime. He don't preach party. More state troopers, raises for cops, and anything that we need. Beshear gets it done.
I'm a Republican, and Andy Beshear is doing everything he can to keep our community safe.
And we can count on him to have our backs.
It's the Battle of the Titans. 2 mountaintop 10 teams. Watch the WYMT ARH Game of the Week as the Johnson Central Golden Eagles travel to Pond Creek to take on the Belfry Pirates. Catch all the action Friday at 7:30 on HNI and WYMT.com.
No gear, no plan, no problem. MacGyver.
Welcome back. The time is 5:44, and if you all are waking up, getting ready to go to work, it's going to be a beautiful day. I think we're going to see pretty nice temperatures. It was a chilly morning. Brandon even broke out.
Still is chilly.
Yeah, still. It is just 5:44.
That's right. It's not over yet.
It's not over. Definitely still chilly.
Yeah, no, I broke here. It's actually sitting.
He has it. He wanted to show you.
Listen,
he wore his vest.
It was vest weather today. So again, that's something we've been kind of watching here for the last little bit, and we're going to keep watching again tonight for tomorrow as well. Let's take a look, see what's going on out there this morning. Beautiful morning up on Buffalo Mountain here in Perry County. We're continuing to watch just a little bit of fog, I believe is what that is. Could be a little bit of cloud cover too. I know we had some clouds moving out overnight, but I did get to see that super blue moon out there last night. Kind of just a phenomenon. It's kind of a rare one just because of the simple fact it's the second full moon of the month. We had one to start and then one to end the month. So again, it's been kind of an interesting phenomenon. Not supposed to happen again for a long time. 2037 is what I believe I read on that one. So y'all a few of you sent some good pictures, and we'll try to get a few of those up here pretty soon. But again, not too much going on here in Perry County, and you see temperatures, excuse me, are on the cooler side. We're looking at 55 Wise, 54 Irvin, 55 in Moorhead, 60 Manchester, London, 64 in Harlan, and also 60 in Grundy this morning. So again, vest, light jacket, long sleeve shirt, something out there this morning, because as you just saw, it's in the 50s in many areas. But later today, I believe we'll be able to shed that. 76, an absolutely perfect day to wrap up the month of August. Temperatures for the next 12 hours heading up into the mid to upper 70s there. It's going to be very comfortable outside today. Please get outside and do something. Take lunch outside, take dinner outside, anything like that. 66 at lunchtime. It's going to be a fall feel. I mean, it's going to be a gorgeous day. More sunshine the later in the day you get. Ice cream, got to have dessert, right? And remember, September 11th, I'll be over at Dairy Queen for that deal. Okay, I'll be taking care of that. 76 today though. Always a good day for some ice cream, even when it's colder outside. And if you want to go camping tonight, can't beat this forecast. Just maybe take a sweatshirt or something with you, because it's going to be a little cool out there. Temperatures in the upper 50s. Now the trend over the next few days, not so cool. We're going to start to see those temperatures go back up as early as tomorrow, but I do believe tomorrow will still be a decent day, mid to maybe upper 80s. Models trying to trend a little cooler, but as we get into the weekend, well above average there into the low 90s heading toward Labor Day. The good news is the dew points stay pretty low all the way into the middle of next week, but they start to slowly climb back into the humid sector there by next Wednesday. We're tracking Tropical Storm Idalia still one more time, kind of a southwest there, Wilmington, North Carolina, but the track takes it out basically into the Atlantic. Bermuda could be impacted by that, keeps it a tropical storm all the way through early next week. But once it gets out of off the Carolina coastline, we'll be in decent shape. But we're still watching several others. We have the next potential system out there that could be developing the next couple of days, and Tropical Depression 11, along with Hurricane Franklin, which is not going to do a whole lot. Tropical Depression 11 will probably stay a tropical system or a tropical depression the whole time for its life cycle. And again, Jose will be the next one up if that one develops. ARH 7-day forecast for the weekends always in view here at home. Sunshine dancing all the way into next week. Olivia?
Brandon, thank you. The Amazing Race celebrates its 35th season. The Equalizer hits theaters with its final installment, and stars of Breaking Bad join the picket line. CBS's Danya Backus has your eye on entertainment.
Denzel Washington is back as Robert McCall in the final chapter of The Equalizer.
You should stay out of other people's business. Whatever it is you and your friends do it somewhere else. You warning me? I'm preparing you.
After moving to southern Italy and discovering his new friends are under the control of the mafia, the now retired CIA assassin decides to take on local crime bosses. Director Antoine Fuqua says he wanted the Equalizer franchise to go out on a strong note. When asked if this is really the final installment,
you never speak in absolutes, right? But I think it's the last one for me. Denzel says it's the last one for him, so I got to believe that.
The Equalizer 3 is in theaters Friday. Stars of Breaking Bad reunited on the picket line in Los Angeles.
We just want them to see reality and fairness and come back to the table and talk to us. We may find that we have much more in common than they realize.
Bryan Cranston, Aaron Paul, and Jesse Plemons joined other SAG-AFTRA members to call on Hollywood studios to resume negotiations with striking screen actors. SAG-AFTRA actors have been on strike since July. And The Amazing Race returns to CBS. This season, 13 teams battle it out with a visit to Slovenia, and a former team makes a surprise appearance. The show celebrates its 35th race around the world during the 90-minute season premiere Wednesday, September 27th. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Jimmy Kimmel says he was ready to call it quits on his late-night talk show until the writer's strike changed his perspective. Kimmel made the revelation on the first episode of his Strike Force 5 podcast, which launched yesterday. Kimmel says he was, quote, very intent on retiring around the time when the strike started, but he went on to say he now realizes that, quote, it's kind of nice to work. Rapper Travis Scott is going on tour again nearly 2 years after 10 people were killed at one of his concerts. Hundreds were also injured in the 2021 crowd crush at Astroworld in Houston. Wednesday, Scott announced his upcoming Utopia Circus Maximum